I mean, this happened with Baxi. What, 7 years ago?
In North America, they pulled
In North
out.
America.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the same thing here. I mean, Triangle or Ideal Group Atlantic is still likely selling this boiler in Europe.
I think so.
Right?
I think you're right. All right, we're on the air, Andy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Hey, we just got a quick one this week. Opened up the phone the other day and found out that Triangle Tube, the boiler manufacturer, some people in North America might know them as Ideal Boilers. But a lot of us know as Triangle Tube, been around since the kind of the inception of mod con boilers, right?
Yeah.
Closed down just abruptly November 3rd.
Yep.
And I found out from, I think I was on Facebook or something like that. And then so I went to their site to see a big, nothing on their site, but to see, I checked my email and then I saw there that we got an email saying, hey, we're done.
Yeah.
We're closing down. They cited something to do with market changes and basically they can't compete or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what their reasoning was behind it. What do you have to say about all this? This is pretty crazy.
That's kind of the same thing I saw too. I initially, surprisingly, Cheryl called me like, I don't know, noon the other day and was like, hey, did you see that Triangle Tube closed down? I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I just saw something on the House Call Pro Facebook page that somebody was asking about it. And so I was like, oh, interesting. And I jumped on Facebook because I try to not do that during the day and pop up. And here's that link that I sent you in Denver was, the Hydronic Heating Pros or some, I don't know what the heck, Facebook group that we're all three of us are a group of. And it was like, that was where I first saw it, was there. But, and then I, all of a sudden start seeing everybody posting about it, that on the East Coast, I think they're a bigger boiler East Coast. I could be wrong on that, but maybe there's just, more people that I follow East Coast that are using them. I don't know.
I think that they do pretty well out there in the eastern United States, and probably because there's more boilers out there. It's a bigger market.
That's
know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Just a day or so ago, somebody had posted about that that they had closed down. It's pretty nuts. So like I found the email. It says, following a board decision by its parent company, Triangle Tube /Phase 3 Company, Inc., will wind down operations and enter voluntary liquidation in an orderly manner. This decision was made after a thorough review of current business environment, the cost and difficulties of doing business in the HVAC industry in North America, increased tariffs, and other operational challenges. The operations of Triangle Tube will cease effective as of November 3rd. And this was put out on the 3rd, by the way.
Right.
As a valued customer of Triangle Tube, you have many customer questions and concerns. As part of the wind down process, we will do our best to address your questions and concerns in a reasonable and efficient manner. We anticipate the wind down process will take several months to complete. Well, I mean, that was on the 3rd, and then on the 4th, it said very clearly on their website that they were closed down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like, if anybody out there's like, I have parts on order or whatever, if they've shipped, sounds like you're good to go. I think your distribution will continue selling parts, continue selling boilers. There is a little note in there. Where did I see that? All purchases effective November 23, 2025 will have no warranty. So be aware of that, things that you don't have a purchase date prior to that. If you bought it from your supply house November 2nd, theoretically it has a warranty. I don't know how that works, but they're clearly stating everything after November 3 does not. So something to keep in mind that if you're in the process of installing these currently, that may be something that you're going to have a probably a pretty difficult conversation with a customer.
Well, there was a couple comments or lots of comments on my social post when I posted about it on
Yeah.
the 4th. Or yeah, yesterday, I guess, is when I posted that. We're recording this on the 5th. Um, there's a bunch of people. One of them said, "Hey, we have a combi sitting in the shop that's uninstalled. It's waiting for the job to start." And I thought in my head, like, I didn't comment back. I guess they didn't ask or anything, but they who cares what I think. But my thought right then when I read that comment was, I wouldn't install it. Not because of a bias or anything that I'm not a big fan of the product line, the
Nope.
most recent iterations of their products. In the past, I will admit that I had installed plenty of Triangle Tube Prestige boilers, the Solos,
Yep.
early on in, I'm talking like early
Yeah.
2000s, mid 2005, 6, 7, somewhere around there. I was installing a few of these, and I had great success with them.
Yep.
I regularly see Triangle Tube Prestige Solo boilers in my market that are 15, close to 20 years old that we're replacing.
Yep.
I mean, they're shot now. Like they're,
They're they're due.
yeah, they're past due probably for replacement, but
Yep.
that's a testament to, I think, the quality that they had going on and how they
Sure.
operated and the parts and pieces that they were made of in the beginning. They were very simple. They're very
Yep.
straightforward. They weren't super high end by any means, but they
Right.
seem to be pretty good workhorses. If you install them right, they seem to last for quite a while.
Yeah.
Not bashing them at all. We've seen this happen with other manufacturers in the past. Not so. I don't know if I could call. I'd say Triangle Tube's high profile. Like I think
Yeah.
anybody that works with boilers knows Triangle
Yeah.
Tube, right?
Yeah. I mean, this happened with Baxi. What, 5, 7 years ago
In North America, they
in
pulled
North
out.
America.
Yeah,
Right. But that's the same thing here. I mean, Triangle or Ideal Group Atlantic is still likely selling this boiler in Europe,
I think so.
right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
So, and they may, I don't know, does it say that they're pulling out of North America or they're pulling out of the US?
It said North America.
I thought so too.
I would
So it
imagine that it's hard
made me
to.
curious if Canada was still selling, but I don't know. I don't know what that. My understanding is that Ideal brand was more in Canada initially, and then they brought it to the States a few years ago.
Well,
But
and
I don't.
it's just a branding thing.
Yeah,
Like when it
it
comes to
is.
like this particular boiler line, like they're just different badges on the same boiler.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. No, it's
Uh,
interesting. We
I don't.
saw a major manufacturer get bought out. Like we've talked about it many times. Viessmann
Yep.
boilers. We're big fans of them. We've been using them for many years now, you and I.
Yep.
And they were bought by Carrier. And, of course, when
Sure.
something like that happens, you get a little nervous because, like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Hopefully no closures coming anytime soon for them. But citing tariffs, I thought was interesting. And I feel like maybe the CEO of North American Triangle Tube was like, no, we're going to freaking say this and this ain't good. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why they shut down, I'm guessing. But you said they had a bunch of recalls, didn't they?
Well, so yeah, here, I mean, this has been going on a couple years now, year and a half. I mean, so they had a recall. I don't remember what exactly it was. It was a condensate trap issue or something for a while.
Okay.
And then they pushed out and they broadened that recall to like this current one. So if you've got a what is it, Prestige Solo, Prestige Excellence, PTs and PTE, PA, PAEA, and AE models, which is a bunch. Like I want to say it was like 60,000 boilers were covered under this recall.
Sure.
And so they were paying, I think, $400 to have this recall kit installed. And they send you this whole, the huge box of parts. And it's like a new flue collector, like comes out of the bottom of the heat exchanger and out the top of the boiler. There's a new intake adapter to connect to your PVC air intake. New igniters, new ignition electrode, new wiring harness, new control board. And then you had to like put this threaded adapter, tool basically threaded the PVC outlet of the condensate drain to allow the nut to stay firmly in place.
Yeah.
It was a bit of work. I mean, they claim you could do it in 2 hours. I I feel like I'm a fairly decent tech. I mean, I'm pretty handy with this stuff. I, the one I did, I was 2.5 to, 3, almost 3 hours, kind of following by the rule or the book. This recall manual was, I don't know, 10 pages, 12 pages of a manual, and you have to document pictures as you go in order to be reimbursed for it. So there was a lot of hoops to jump through as a tech. And I get that they were trying to, protect their own. They had some serious carbon monoxide leaks, that were a result of this. I think the traps were falling off in some cases,
Oh my
due
gosh.
to like a delayed ignition. And I don't think that delayed ignition was necessarily like a manufacturing defect. I think the majority of these problems came from customers that just didn't service them, right? But as a result of not servicing, this could happen, and they were made aware of it, and therefore they had to be the one that, bear the brunt of that. I don't know. Maybe that's part of. I mean, I'm sure it factors into operating costs when you have to pay, whatever, whatever what the heck is that? So what's 60,000 times $400? A lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm sure it's a big factor.
$24 million recall.
Right. Yeah, and then
And
add
that's
tariffs
you
on
don't
top of
just
that.
well, yeah, you don't just swallow that in the bottom line.
No, no.
Not in the hydronic boiler, residential boiler industry.
Be interested
So
to see how this all plays out over time. I mean, I can kind of guess that parts are going to become, scarce before they're
yeah,
not available, and who knows how long that is. I'm sure that there's some well-stocked contractors out there that have been installing their boilers for years, probably have parts on hand. Good for them.
yep,
Their customers are going to be lucky to be,
yep,
to move along a little bit further before in the inevitable, which will be replacement with another brand.
right.
None of this is good for the business owners, you and
No,
me in the world, out there, trying to service equipment that was already installed by us or by someone else. That's
yeah,
challenging too. You may look at this as opportunity, to to take on a new customer maybe that has one of these units. That's kind of how I'm going to have to look at it because I have no other choice. I
yep,
haven't been installing these for the last one I installed was probably like 2010. So I'm
yep,
not worried about it personally, but it does present a problem when people call you for expert service and advice, and they have something like this in their house and they know what they're up against. So
yeah.
it'd be
Well,
challenging to see how that plays out.
yep, we installed 4 or 5 of them here 5 years ago. Right
Yeah.
about the time that we did that training.
Yep.
I was excited about them. After installation, I'm not excited about them. Those are, 3 boilers or 3 of them for sure that I regret installing,
That's
because of their operational performance. They just, I mean, it was ultimately those installations were what led me to really start looking at Viessmann,
yeah.
you know?
Well, we'll have to see how it plays out. We'll
So,
we'll check up on this in the next 6 months or so and just kind of see if there's anything new to report. And if we do, we'll have it
yeah,
back. All right. Well, that's a
yep,
short one for
absolutely.
today, guys. Again, take it easy and let us know if you got any feedback. Use the link in your podcast app there. If you scroll down in the show description, there's a link there. You can send us a text message. You can let us know how much you love us or hate us. We love to hear from you. Feedback is a gift. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please share it, like, subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate you, and we appreciate everybody. So, Andy, that's all I got, bud.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too. See ya.